Hi, my name is Kylie Blacksell and I'm from Human Happiness, and welcome to your video tutorial on phobia of needles, how to eliminate this very common phobia. I'm going to tell you a story about a 12-year-old special needs boy that was my client. The mother came to me with this concern that the child was unable to get his needles. So he had his Year 7 needles coming up at his special needs school, and he refused to get his needles done. And so I got a phone call from the school, and she said, oh, he doesn't want to get his needles. And so she made appointments for a nurse to do it at the doctor's, and took him in and spent 40 minutes trying to convince this little boy that the needle was okay, it wasn't going to hurt too much, and all this bribery, taking things away, giving things, etc., to try to get him to be okay with the needle. But there was no go. He definitely was too scared of getting the needle done, and after 40 minutes of using up the nurse's time, they decided they better leave. Made another appointment a few weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, and he refused to even go to this appointment. So the parent went and saw a psychologist, a child psychologist, and they said exposure, exposure, exposure. So what they did was get a little 10 mil, not a needle, like a syringe type thing you can get from the chemist, and put like a little paper clip, a large paper clip through it, so it looked like there was like a little stick needly thing at the end. As a practice needle, so to expose him to the idea of having a needle. And also he had a paranoia about having band-aids, so putting on the numbing cream was also an issue because it had to be band-aided over, so there was this paranoia about that. And the psychologist also suggested to actually expose him to videos and photos of people receiving needles. So this was all well and good, but the psychologist also said to her, there's a very little chance of you being able to get him to do this in 2 weeks' time, which was when the appointment was. And so the client came to me and wanted to receive healing therapy. Okay, so then I did the Ho'oponopono on this 12-year-old special needs boy. And what I looked at was really fascinating. Of course, when someone's paranoid about having an injection, okay, there may be quite a few trust issues. And looking at his numerology in particular, I knew that there was quite a bit of trust issues there. There was also this disempowerment issue. And most people who have a problem with being held and having an injection put in or having a needle put in will probably have some issues around trust and feeling disempowered. So that's a thing to look at, and that was one of the programs that I looked at when I worked on and did the distance healing on him. I did 3 distance healings on him. So the first one was looking at the trust issues, and I can't trust anybody, it's not safe, I can't trust that they're going to do what they say they're going to do, I can't trust that it's not going to hurt, that kind of concept. And I feel disempowered. So feeling held down, feeling like I don't have a choice, feeling backed into the corner, those sorts of programs you can look at for fear of needles. And then I went deeper. Now, needles in particular are going to have quite a few past life issues, most likely, highly likely, around penetration of skin causing death. Okay, you might think, wow, this is a little bit more, but this is a bit intense, but it actually worked really well. So in the second 2 therapies that I did in the Ho'oponopono, I actually looked at specifically removing all of the vows associated with what this person was dealing with. So or the soul vows that were made in past lives associated with this fear. And there's a bit of a list that I went through with that. And then I looked at all of the limiting beliefs and memories and pain associated with death or trauma caused by penetration of skin. And what came up when I was doing this work was that this particular little person in past lives had been killed by stabbing wound, by wild dogs. So this is penetration of skin, pecked by birds, also held down, like tied down and tortured, possibly some kind of crucifixion type concept. And a spider and snake, okay, came up for me as I was removing all these limiting beliefs and pain associated with this particular person. And it will be quite similar for most of the people that have got a paranoia about needles or injections, or giving blood and things like that. It can even be around the blood thing as well. So this is the process that you go through to actually remove it. And then what happened then was 2 weeks later, this little person had his appointment. Not only did he go in and have his injections and do the Band-Aid thing and was felt safe having a Band-Aid on his arm, because he was very paranoid that someone was going to rip the Band-Aid off without him knowing, which was that trust thing, which was that disempowerment thing. But he was okay to have the Band-Aids on. He removed the Band-Aids himself. And not only did he have the injections in both arms for his Year 7 injections, but he also watched the injection go in, which was just incredible. And afterwards, he was so thankful. He said, "Thank you, Mummy, for the therapy, for doing the Ho'oponopono, getting the Ho'oponopono done." So an incredible story, and just one of many, many stories where you can actually remove fears, phobias, relationship issues, illnesses, all those sorts of things by using the process of Ho'oponopono. Now you can actually come to me for the therapy, like this mother did and this little boy did. You can actually come and actually go through the process with me, and I can do the therapy for you. Which of course is a fair few sessions, which will cost a certain amount of money. Or another option is you can actually come to the course. You can come to the Ho'oponopono course, which is a 2-day course, and it's a very, very simple process that you learn how to decipher the programs that have caused this phobia or whatever else is going on for you. And it can be any sort of phobia, by the way. It can be arachnophobia, it can be social phobia, a fear of public speaking and all those sorts of things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a phobia of needles. So you can just very easily decipher the programs and then remove those programs very, very easily using the process of Ho'oponopono. So if you can believe that this is possible, that this is something that can work, and you're willing to give it a go, and you're willing to actually see things from a completely different angle, then absolutely either come and get the therapy or go to the course, or both if you like. Learn this tool so that you can actually use it for anything that comes up for yourself or for other people in your life that is an issue that you'd like to actually remove, because it can remove anything at any point in time as long as you're willing to put the time in to actually remove it. So check out the website. You can learn all about healing therapy or about the Ho'oponopono course. I highly recommend that you're doing it. It is a very simple process to do. Anybody could learn how to do it. I hope you enjoyed that little story, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.